I mean, they full of dude. Yeah. And that's the way I see it. You know what I'm saying? You know, we don't need to know what going on between these two clowns because we know they were corrupted and they did a lot of shit. They were in there for 47 years of rule. Even she was there with Bill Clinton, sorry, behind Slick Willie. You know what I mean? So we know, oh well, what was going on up in there, and she was accused by the mighty Pharaoh of bringing a great report down on her neck and think that she could run out and it's all good while she sit over there and play chancellor in some bullshit college. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it 100. You know what I mean? So we see the corruption in government that needs to be in check. You know what I mean? The implosion that did not happen. We don't want to hear that garbage. You know what I'm saying? But it did. It did when it came to her. You know what I'm saying? And she needs to be checked for her bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to keep hearing garbage coming from her or anyone talking about those people anymore. They should have nothing to say in our thing, you know what I'm saying? And this dude writing some new book and all this, I don't want to hear that bullshit. Take your book and shove it. You know what I mean? You ain't nothing about no goddamn book. We got bigger problems than worrying about your fucking book. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to tell the truth about what's going on, tell the truth. We don't want to hear nothing about that garbage. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to hear nothing about that garbage. Biden scratches his head when he's asked about the possible payment to illegal. Yeah, he's going to scratch his head because he know what the fuck he did. He did that in order to get votes in his corner. Filling up the homes and then saying, oh, they have residents over there in the Greens and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the whole Greens is now all South Americans and all. Just because they're in the house over there in the resident, they could vote. And then they're going to say, oh, yeah, Biden was the one that helped us forget the Republicans and keep the Democrats in power for another 50, 100 years. But if they're smart, they'll do better than that because you'll get more out of shaking it up and putting Republicans in there sometimes rather than just demon Democrats. Because at any time, they could turn around and have you deported. So let's be honest, you cannot trust the demon Democrats. You know what I'm saying? You cannot trust them. You cannot trust them by a long shot, and I advise you not to, because shit can turn around and bite you in the behind. You don't want that to happen, do you? So let's be 100. When we look at Biden scratches his head when asked about the possible payments to illegal immigrants, you know what I'm saying? The president ignored the question. He ignored the question. From what they're saying, he ignored the question. You know what I'm saying? White House correspondent Peter Dookie on Sunday regarding the administration report plans to pay $450,000 per person. $450,000 per person, which we never got and I never got, motherfucker. You know what I mean? $450,000 per person to illegal immigrants who had been separated, from their families. So they get $450,000. This seems like a con game in order to get them to vote for them. That's all this is about. It's a con game to make them even get a head start way further than a lot of Americans who've been here struggling for years. Don't forget to vote no on the 1, 3, and 4 on the ballot propositions and proposals that they're trying to put forward. Vote no. Vote no. You know what I'm saying? On the 1, 3, and 4. You know what I'm saying? Vote no. On the redistricting of and messing with our constitutional voting rights and the voting rights in itself. Do not allow them anything that would mess with the voting rights. Vote no. Because the demon Democrats are trying to move these people in. As you see, they want to give $450,000 per person to illegal immigrants who have been separated from their family during the Trump administration. No, they weren't separated by Trump. They were separated by the demon Democrat legislation bullshit that they were doing aside from what Trump was doing. Remember, they were still moving, just like you have demon Democrats talking now. You have Republicans talking now. You have them doing different things. You have different ones saying they're not going to do this and they're going to make this legislation because of this and that, and they're going to block this and they're going to block that. That's the same thing they were doing when Trump was in office. Let's flip it on the other side. They were over here here still doing this, doing that, pushing immigration this and pushing immigration laws and ramping the people up one time and then ramping them back down. And when they come up, and then they snatch them and take all kind of pictures of them in cages and shit. And then all of a sudden, ooh, boom, on Trump. That's how they were doing. They weren't just sitting home sleeping. They were busy doing work just the same way you see Republicans are moving around and different candidates are moving around. They don't just sit home. You know what I'm saying? So while Trump was in there, they were Hillary Clinton and all of them were ramping up all kinds of garbage on Trump. Rather than working with Trump to make the country as great as they can make it, they were busy trying to find ways to demonize him, put accusations, accuse him of shit, and so forth, that when the election time come around, they were going to kick his behind clean out. Probably even wanted to put the man in jail.